Hey everyone, this is Greg from London Bridge Bricks. So in some ways this is a really special video for me. It's my first city video, so something completely new for the channel, and if you don't already know, my city is actually called Legondon, and in this video you'll see it starting to come to life literally from the ground up. Now I'll talk you through what tables and storage I've used to lay in some Lego and illustrating to you my plans, ideas, influences and decisions for what will be an exciting and new learning curve for me, and one that I can't wait to share with you all too. Now I also have an idea on how to raise modular buildings without using Lego, so that the curb is higher than the Lego's new road system. And with that in mind, I hope you enjoy my first city update, and if you do, then please do give the video a thumbs up, and if you happen to be new to London Bridge Bricks and Legondon, then please do hit that subscribe button and become a big part of the LBB family. So with all that in mind, let's see what I've been up to. So my city for now is going to be assembled in my dining room. There isn't really enough space in my studio, and later this year I'm having an outbuilding constructed in my garden that will become my real ultimate Lego room. But I'll tell you more about that in future city updates. Now with Lego, if you pardon the pun, you kind of sometimes need to think a little bit outside the box. And for a city, you need to buy a lot of loose Lego from Bricklink and Pick-a-Brick walls. And for all that Lego, you need a lot of storage. So for starters, I bought 4 sets of drawers from really useful storage. And as time goes on, and as the name suggests, they will prove to be really useful. They're well made, they stack up easy, and best of all, they snugly fit under the tables. Now the cost of those 4 drawers was £140, and I'll add a link to them down in the description below. Next going up are the tables. Now these are the Limons tables, and I got these from IKEA. They measure 60 centimeters wide by 2 meters deep, or if you happen to be from the US, 23.5 inches by 79 inches. They're light, sturdy, and I know several other YouTubers that use them for their cities as well. Now I'll be needing more in the future. For now I got 3, but for the time being I'm going to use just 2. And the Limons tables needs 5 ideal legs as well, so one of those actually goes in the middle, and one table with 5 legs works out to £41.50. So with shipping so far, the cost is £300, and as yet I haven't even laid a single brick. But in my opinion, building a Lego city is a pure luxury, and Lego isn't cheap, so the last thing I want to do is add my modulars, trains, minifigures and mechs laid out on something flimsy. You want good foundations, and these tables are just a ticket. They're relatively light, strong, and IKEA's ideal legs have a small amount of adjustment at the bottom of them, just in case your floor isn't quite even. I'll leave a link for the IKEA tables down in the description as well. After tables, the next stage is adding some base plates. Firstly, I'm laying out 8 base plates down the table and 5 going across. So to fill 2 meters by 120 centimeters, I'm going to need 40 base plates with just a little bit of minor overhang from the tables. So here I'm adding a tile between the plates to stop them from kind of sliding around. And I was thinking about doing my city using the Mills technique, but seeing as buying Lego in bulk, especially from the Pick-a-Brick wall, isn't an option here in the UK at the moment, I'll put that idea on ice for now, but I may come back to that in the future, or I may even actually just adapt it. I'm also kitting Legondon out with the new Lego road system, but I'll come back to that in just a moment. So next, let's just change gear just a little bit and let me show you the bigger picture and my plans for Legondon. So this is me drawing my city, and you kind of keep all these ideas in your head, and sometimes it just really helps just to jot it down on a piece of paper, because otherwise I kind of find that ideas get a little bit fuzzy. So firstly, I'm showing you the base plates that I currently have fixed to the table. And then we have this straight train track running down the outside of it, and maybe there'll be a 2 or maybe 4 stud gap to the edge. And then we have the pedestrian area, and this area I'm really excited about, because everything that goes on here will kind of reflect who and what resides in the city. For example, there'll be lots of market stalls selling all the usual stuff like fruit and veg, but also fireworks, toys, candy, and even Jawa selling hydraulics and armor parts for mechs and wizard wands. So minifigures kind of will be able to hire bikes and rickshaws, and I want it to be busy, bustling, diverse and colourful, just like the markets really are in London. Then we have this wide main road using Lego's new road system, and then across from that we've got the modulars themselves, starting with the Parisian restaurant, which is the first modular building I've assembled for my city. Then there's going to be the bookstore, the new police station, Assembly Square, and on the corner is going to be the diner. Now, I don't want the modulars all crammed together. I kind of want them to have their own space, so between some of them there'll be alleyways leading to the second row of modulars as well. Now, following on from the diner will be the corner garage, and then I'm going to be using the Lego City tuning garage, and from that there'll be a kind of car park, and in there will be a combination of things of cars being sold and climbing frames, a skateboard park, or the one that I built recently in the London Eye Stream. And then there's going to be the detective office and then the pet store, and I have room for another modular, but I'm not sure what I'm going to pop in that space just yet. Maybe a Harry Potter or city set can dwell there, but my main theme that's going to be kind of weaving in and out of my city will be Ninjago. So don't be surprised to see plenty of streetlights interconnected with strings of lanterns popping up. But to get to that point, I've got to build a lot of Lego first. So here in phase 1 of my city, I'm on this kind of Lego city building learning curve. So for now, the city layout is really just a series of lanes. They've got a lane here for the train line, a lane for the pedestrian market area, the lanes for the roads, and then got this modular street of buildings and another one behind it. And for the moment, that really is as far as I need to plan. The rest will come in the future from other ideas I have and inspiration from you. So as always, please do let me know how you would like to see the city develop in the comments below. I think it'd be kind of fun actually, just thinking about this, to have some sort of live city update streams whereby people in the chat can bounce ideas around with me and change things in the city on the fly. So let me know if you fancy that idea in the future in the comments below. So next, let's get back to the builds and let me show you what I've been doing along with my solution of how to fix the height issue between the modulars and the infamous new road systems. Now firstly, I do like the old road plates, but I've only got a handful of those and my city will just consist of the new Lego road systems. And when I planned this, I considered what I wanted from using them. So for me, in my city, I want at least one wide main road because I want to display this whole city with a whole range of different vehicles that come in all shapes and sizes. I mean, it is Lego after all. So you kind of go from 4 to 6 studs and those new road systems, absolutely fine. But the problem is when you get to 8 studs like Speed Champions, you've got this problem because the single section of the new roads is just simply too narrow. So to get around this problem, I'm doubling up the main road in the city so that there's plenty of space for those Speed Champions and maybe the odd monster truck, but of course sandcrawlers and mechs, because when it comes to mechs, I love them. So I want them to be wandering all over the city like a normal everyday vehicle. And as far as the rest of the city goes, I'll keep the roads narrow. Maybe I'll incorporate some sort of one-way system, but I'll kind of figure that out as I go along. Now the big downside to widening the roads is that you get a lot of redundant element bricks such as traffic lights, speed humps, green plates, trees, solar panels, and not forgetting to mention a whole handful of wide slopes as well. So I'll have to find a way of using those somewhere else in the future, but slightly annoying is that you get a whole bunch of spare printed lines as well on 2x4 tiles, but nowhere near enough plain dark bluish grey 2x4 tiles. Now ordinarily speaking, that wouldn't be a problem, but getting those from Lego or Bricklink at the moment is impossible. They just don't sell them, so I'm forced to either order 1x4s or 2x2 dark bluish grey tiles to fill in the roads, because otherwise there's going to be a whole lot of potholes in my city, which is not a good look. So the road system will run partly along the base plates as well, most likely around 8 studs in, and this will leave 14 studs for the market lane area. That leaves 8 studs for the width of the train tracks and 2 studs free along the edge. So we have this new Lego road system, but as a lot of you will know, this new road system has brought in a few problems that we need to figure out. One being that the curve for the modulars is lower than the roads, and that just doesn't look right. So weeks ago, I was talking to a good friend of the channel, Jarv Bricks, who himself has an awesome city. And we came up with this solution that doesn't involve using Lego, because frankly, I don't want to use Lego on large areas that you don't even see, because Lego is blooming expensive. So with that in mind, the solution is to use flat plastic shims. They're rectangular pieces of plastic that vary in colour and importantly thickness from 1mm to 6mm. They're cheap, easy to get hold of from any hardware store. I got this 200 pack of shims from Amazon for just £9, but if you shop around, you'll pick them up even cheaper. Now at the moment, I'm experimenting with how high I want the curb to be at. I'm thinking 1 tile height above the road, but I may go to 2, as this will give some more flexibility around adding in more detail between the curbs and the roads and more options for interlocking sections of the city together going forward. So city buildings come in all shapes and sizes, and Lagondon is no exception to that rule. And there isn't just Lego modulars out there for Lego buildings. We have other themes such as Harry Potter and Lego City, but they, unlike modulars, don't assemble on flimsy base plates. Instead, they come on thicker plates, and that has to be factored in because that alters the depth of the curb as well. I mean, firstly, we don't want curbs lower than roads, and we certainly don't want Lego City buildings installed next to modulars sitting at different heights to one another. So everything has to be ideally uniformed, and using a solution that has some kind of flexibility about it, and these plastic shims are perfect for this. And because modular base plates are thinner than ordinary plates, at least, this means using thinner shims for buildings like the City Family House compared to the Parisian restaurant, which will use thicker shims so that the buildings are on the same level as each other and given a uniform curb height. So with that in mind, let me know what you think down in the comments below of the idea of using plastic shims to raise and lower the heights of Lego buildings. And if you happen to have a Lego City and have converted it from the old base plate road system, what method have you gone with to raise your buildings to the height for the new Lego roads? So this is where I was, and this is where I'm at, and this is where I want to be in the next couple of months, up until my outdoor Lego cabin is constructed. And then I can really get into gear and move Lagondon onto phase 2, and part of phase 2 will have a separate Ninjago island consisting of Ninjago City, docks, and of course the gardens, and they're going to be joined to Lagondon with a mock-up of a particular bridge that you just might be familiar with. Then over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be adding some track along the length of the city and ballasting that up as well. And I'm also going to be adding a whole bunch of more of the new road system and deciding what depth I'm going to go with for the curbs and installing another modular building into the city as well. So that's it for my starting from scratch city update. If you like the video, then please do give it a thumbs up, and for regular updates you can follow the channel on Instagram and Twitter, and if you happen to be new around here, then why not hop on and subscribe and become a big part of the LBB family. I'll leave you now with some videos that I think you might like.